Okay, welcome back to the Broken Brain. It's time for your Monday mental tip coming into 2025. Isn't that exciting? I guess. Or is it? Who knows? It's just a month, really. And this is kind of what I was going to mention today. I'm going to mention a couple of things in regards to goal setting or New Year's resolutions. It's a term that everybody hates. Everybody? Not everybody, probably. Out there in the sound of my voice, do you hate the term New Year's resolutions? Do you like the concept of New Year's resolutions? It can be problematic, and actually, in a way, it can even be counterproductive to people's management and achievement of goals. Goals are important. Goals are good. I heard a phrase the other day. I've heard it before, kind of, but it struck me that when we talk about chasing our dreams, dreams are something that happen when we're asleep. Goals are something that happen when we're awake, and we try to make them happen. So goals are good, but how do we approach them in a way that doesn't burn us out? And oftentimes, New Year's resolutions, the issues are there given to us, the pressure is given to us at an arbitrarily selected time that everybody says, here we go, this is when we're doing it. And so a couple of quick thoughts to help with the goal setting, especially if you feel pressured to do that for the new year. Or perhaps you enjoy doing it for the new year. But either way, there's a couple different perspectives. One of the ones that comes up a lot and a lot of people enjoy and have some success with, instead of a specific resolution, the idea is to pick a theme for the upcoming year. And usually this is done by picking a word or a phrase that is of emotional significance to the person who is doing it. So you might say, I want to engage more with my life, and engagement is the word, and you might focus on that. You might say, I want to find ways to solve certain problems. So solutions is the word that I'm going to have. And so we can circle back to these, words or phrases as something to keep, and even in a meditative way. When people do that kind of classic transcendental meditation, they say, in order to, it's a myth that you can just clear your mind, day one particularly, but many of us find that we're not successful in just kind of clearing our minds completely. And so there's something that we give ourselves to pay attention to. And oftentimes they say a word, a phrase, or an image that we can focus on is something that helps. So it's a kind of a meditative pursuit to pick a word or phrase that's emotionally relevant to what I want to feel for a period of time, or focus on, I should say, for a period of time. And that is something where a beginning of the year really, can be a time of focus. So the theme method rather than the resolution method. Another little tip when you are approaching goal making is to always ask yourself a couple of questions. They call this goal stratification at times. And the approach is to ask yourself, what do I want to gain from my goal? What do I want to lose if I am successful in my goal? What do I want to maintain? And what do I want to avoid? There's 4 different parts. I'll break it down here. What do I want to gain and what do I want to lose? Those are we usually only focus on one or the other of those. I want to gain more money. I want to lose weight. I want to, that kind of a thing. And understanding that every goal has both of those components. So let's say that someone has that traditional, a lot of times there's maybe even an over focus on this, wanting to lose weight, right? And that's what we look at. Also, nutritionists and exercise specialists will usually tell you that it's not necessarily even a healthy goal. If that's your primary goal, if that's your only goal, it leads to burnout, and it's not the measure of health all by itself that we may assume it is, just based off of, once again, it's an arbitrary, societally determined type of a thing. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother mental tip. But let's say it's a normal thing. People do it. Let's acknowledge it. Going into the new year and saying, I'm going to lose weight. So if that's the goal, well, it suggests itself for what do I want to lose? Well, I want to reduce the pounds that I have or something like that. But we can go a bit deeper. First of all, let's start with gain. Okay. What do I want to gain? I want to gain increased health of some kind, right? Well, is that what it is? Does it have to do with appearance? Does it have to do with, certain types of aesthetics that we want to embrace? Once again, problematic if that's the only thing. It's not always fulfilling or satisfying as we think it will be. But if that's what I want, that's what I want. And let's be honest about it. The other part might be I want to gain strength or stamina or things that will, allow me to move around. I want to gain freedom of movement. And then what do I want to lose? Well, we might just say, well, I want to lose the pounds, right? Let's go a little deeper though. What is it that I have, because of the thing I'm trying to change that I would like to get rid of? So getting rid of pain, for example, maybe joint pain is something that I would have a little less of if I was carrying a little less weight. Is it good for, and this is not, by the way, this is not necessarily something that is always true. We need to be aware of this. Is it going to help me with cholesterol or cardiovascular health? Obviously could be if I'm doing those kinds of exercises. Is it going to help with my general health? We assume yes, but let's make sure. It's good that could lead us to consult a doctor about where am I with some of these markers. Sometimes we're carrying extra weight and some of the things we assume aren't going well are okay, actually. Do I want to lose a sense of being limited in my physical goals and activities? So once again, now we're actually transcending just the primary goal of weight loss, and we're tying that in. That may correlate quite a bit with the goal of less pounds carried around in my body. However, we might find that actually leads us to have other areas of focus that will be healthier even. Now, let's get to the third one. What do I want to maintain? Now, maintaining means what do I have in my life that chasing this goal might threaten that I would like to keep? Okay, this is not things I want to lose that I could lose, but what do I want to maintain? Let's say, well, for example, some people go and say, well, I want to get up an hour earlier to exercise every day. That could be great if we're already getting enough sleep plus a little, maybe plus approximately an hour, then eliminating an hour of sleep is not going to be detrimental to our health, the same way as if we're already not getting enough sleep. Also leads to burnout, also leads to other health problems. Sleep is an anti-inflammatory. It's really important for our mental health, right? Maybe I want to maintain time that I spend certain times with family, right? And there's going to be some sacrifice there, certainly, but we want to be careful. This one also applies to, let's say, the goal of increasing income. What if I go out and work a bunch of extra hours or take a second job or a third job? Am I maintaining some of the other important things where I spend my time? If I can maintain that, I would like to maintain some of the good things that I already have. The flip side of that is the fourth piece, which is avoid. Is there anything I want to avoid? Well, the flip side, this is kind of getting more specific into what would threaten the maintaining goal. I want to avoid taking a whole bunch of extra time away from some other important things in my life, even if I have to sacrifice some or change my allocation of time. And the reason that we do both, right, the maintain and avoid, is the avoid will help inform a little bit of, what is actually cutting into the point. If I say I want to maintain family time, okay, well, avoid would help me say, what is it I'm trying to avoid by maintaining family time, right? I don't want to get distance. I don't want to give up certain things. So therefore, if I am going to sacrifice a little time here and there, I want to make sure it doesn't cut into specific things, or that I minimize how much it cuts into specific things, particularly if in the case of income and things, maybe I have to do extra things, right? It's a math equation there. But what is it that I'm trying to avoid really, and how can I try to preserve the thing on the side of maintenance? So there's those four areas that you can kind of go through, which is gain, lose, maintain, and avoid. That can help to stratify goals and make them more specific, because the more specific, the more we know what we want. The more general, the more difficult it is to measure, even if we are having success. Okay. So appreciate everybody listening in to the Mental Health Tip. We'll be back with a new episode tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, and I hope you're having a happy end of year time, beginning of year time, holiday time, all of the time that you're having. I hope it's well spent and you're feeling hopeful moving forward into things.